At what point did you switch to using female pronouns?
We go back and forth. And it's difficult because at school or in places where she's a he, we can trip over ourselves.
At school it's he, it's Cole. And it's Cole. And then at home, here, it's
she.
Crystal and she.
Yeah.
Is there a reason you haven't transitioned at school?
Because her father and I don't think see this from the same perspective.
So Crystal, or Cole, hasn't expressed a clear preference, it sounds like.
She has said privately with her therapist that she is a girl, almost 100%. When I've sat down and had private conversations with her and said, would you ever be interested in hormones, blockers? They need to be started soon, right? So, you know, I've had to have more serious conversations. Let me explain to you how your body's going to change. Do you want to stop that? How do you feel about it? And her answer is, I can't do that, Mommy. I have to be a boy. And I inquire further as to why, and she says, because I'm Poppy's only son, and it would destroy Poppy.
Can I say hello?
Yeah.
Louis. What's your name?
Crystal.
Crystal. But you've got another name. What's your other name?
Cole.
Do you have one that you like better?
No.
Your mummy was telling me that one is sort of for school, is that right? And one is what, more for home? So that's different. Is that fun, having two names?
Kind of.
Do you think of them as a boy or a girl?
Cole usually is a boy and Crystal's a girl.
Doesn't that get confusing?
No.
So how do you decide?
I decide on what clothes I'm wearing like that day. Like if I want to wear these kind of clothes, I'm a girl. If I wear like those kind of clothes, I'm a boy. Like it depends on like what I feel like doing that day.
Do you prefer one?
No, I don't.
And do you think at some point you'll decide one way or the other, or do you think you might just keep kind of going back and forth?
I'll decide. Yeah.
You think you will?
I was back with Crystal. Unlike her mum, her dad Eric has been reluctant to embrace Crystal's female identity, and so this was a Cole day.
Oh, too much. That one's going in. There you go.
Well played.
So now you can try to get a hold of one.
Yeah, free game.
As I think, we met Joy and we talked to her a little bit about Cole. And she sort of has a point of view on that. That's the best way of putting it.
I look at it a little bit different. I might maybe a little bit more conservative and approach things as, Cole or any of my kids, might want to are going to have certain things that they want to do, and I have limitations on that.
Do you feel you're putting up a little bit of resistance? In the sense that are there times when Cole might say, I'd like to buy some makeup or do this and that, and you might say, well, I don't think that's such a great idea.
I think he's clear kind of on what he can and can't do at his mom's, and kind of what he can and can't do when he's with me. But I've had the conversations with him that, I don't want to prevent you from being who you are. I just feel there's a time and a place for who you want to be and how you want to express that.
If he truly were transgender, if you thought you were seeing that, what would be your view then?
I don't want to be in the position where I've made a decision and then a few years later, it's like it was something that he may not have wanted to do, or at least that his mindset when he's 18, 20, whatever. I didn't want this, and I don't want to have to carry that burden that I made that choice for him and then he changed it.
Whoa, and it just floats?
Back at Mum's house, I was hanging out with Cole/Crystal.
Oh my God,
You know, we didn't really talk about what I should call you either.
Crystal.
Crystal?
Mm-hmm.
And how do you see yourself in that way?
I don't know.
I mean, because most people say I'm either a boy or a girl. Some say they're somewhere in between.
I'm somewhere in between.
Do you feel pretty happy? You're happy? You think you feel like you're
Yeah,
happy?
I'm happy. I have a fine life.
And as far as, because, you know, we met, your mum is Joy, isn't it? And then your dad is Eric. And I get, from meeting both of them, I get the impression that you do more of the girl type things when you're with your mum, and you do less of them when you're with your dad.
I would do like things that like are something that a boy could do and a girl could do too.
Do you have any sense of whether, when you're grown up, you'd like to be Crystal full time?
Actually, when I grow up, I'm thinking of being Cole, so not like Crystal. Like this is like practically till I'm like out, like when I'm practically out of high school.
When you think of yourself as a grown up, do you think of yourself as more of a man or more of a woman?
I mean,
You do?
and that's like thinking about life like, oh, well, I don't know why, but I think of having like a wife and 2 children and like this, like, you know how like in Japan there are like these really weird houses like with the pointy end roofs, and like I want a house like that because I'm really into Japan now. I love their clothing and their style and everything, and I love
Silk.
yes. Well, silk actually came from China.
Good point.